Hey everybody, welcome to the ranch. This is the kitchen edition, as Eric would like me to say. But it is, because we're actually in the garden and I'm picking some vegetables here that we're gonna use tonight back in the kitchen for dinner. So, let me show you what we're about to make. We're here in the cabbage patch, if you will. I've got all the cabbages here and you can see there's a few different sizes. I've got this really big one in front of me here. This is probably the biggest one I have in the garden and I'm super excited. This is gonna be great for our family because we're a large family. And I'm gonna have to pick this one soon because, if you can see right here, the rain has come and everything is kind of getting kind of icky underneath of there. So we're gonna go ahead and pick this one probably over the weekend. But tonight, I am making a deconstructed egg roll. So, or as you want to call it, crack slaw. Paleo people, keto people call it crack slaw because it is so good, you're going to just keep coming back for it. So, we're going to pick this one for our family tonight, and you can see this is a good size cabbage, and it's going to look different when I pull it off. I'm not even sure why they came to that little point. It's kind of funny, actually. I'm having a good time with these cabbages. Now, this is a good size for us tonight, but if you're going to look down in the other part of the cabbage patch over here, if you will, and if you notice, there's some smaller cabbages over here. These are smaller cabbages. I have these at the opposite end of my cabbage patch here. And these are gonna be perfect sizes for my brother-in-law and my sister. They're a family, a small family of 4, and this is gonna be great so they can make their own version of what we're having tonight. They really enjoy that too. And so one of these, or maybe a few of these, will go to them for their family so they can chop them up and have them in their dinner. So it doesn't matter how big your family is, you can still find a head of cabbage to fit what your needs are. So let me go ahead and pull one of these cabbages and get it inside so we can start making dinner. So we've got the cabbage here. I'm gonna pull a couple leaves down and away from the stem to expose that stem. I'm gonna go ahead and cut my stem. Now, I've got this beautiful head of cabbage. So what I've done here is I've pulled off a lot of these outside leaves so that I have more of a piece of compact cabbage, if you will. I'm gonna take these leaves, and you can do a bunch of things with these leaves, these outside leaves, but for me tonight, I'm gonna just leave them here. I'm gonna have one of my boys come out, collect them, and go ahead and just give them to the pigs. It's easier for us to do that tonight. There are so many things you can do with cabbage leaves. I've been looking up a lot of recipes, and I'm excited to, in the future, try to work on some of these different recipes and try some new things out with cabbage leaves. So if you have recipes or something to do with these outside leaves, these bigger leaves, some of them are pretty damaged from bugs, but if you have recipes, I would love to hear your recipes, or post a link, let me know in the comments, because I'm super excited to learn more things. I'm very interested to know and to find different ways to eat cabbage, because you can see we have a lot of it to eat. So let's take this inside and get started on dinner. So as a busy mom, I like easy meals. I like to be able to pull things out of my refrigerator or freezer and be able to make them in no time at all. Just shy of a crock pot meal, coming home and making something in under 30 minutes is not easy. And this is one of those recipes that you can do in a very short amount of time. So one of the things that I love to do is to pre-cook my ground meat, whether it's ground beef, pork, rabbit, whatever it is, maybe it's ground deer. You can have ground meat products, take it, pre-cook it, put it in your freezer, and have it ready to pull out in a jiff. This recipe in particular, it calls for a pound of ground meat. I use pork. I really like the way the pork tastes in this, but I will use whatever ground meat I have on the ready. The only thing I use to season the ground meat when I cook it is I do put some minced garlic in there. So I'm gonna start today with some ground beef, actually ground pork, that I had made up the other day. I did 2 pounds of the ground pork at a time, cooked up a bunch, and then put it right in my refrigerator so I could make a second batch later in the week. And it's worked out perfectly because it's after 7 o'clock and I need to make a meal for my family tonight. So let me show you how we do this. And I think I've wrangled up Eric over there somewhere. I'm gonna get him over here to help me chop up some vegetables and get this stuff in the skillet. The meat is heating up on the stove in my skillet. It's just really all about heating that meat up. And now I'm gonna start on the cabbage. All that's in this recipe is cabbage, some carrots, and the meat. That's it pretty much, right? I'm gonna add a few extra different seasons that I wanna put in there. But otherwise, it's all about the vegetables. So I'm gonna start cutting up this cabbage the way I like it. Let's go. like I'm cutting up a lot of cabbage, and it is a lot of cabbage, but it's really not. Cabbage cooks down a lot when you put it in your skillet. So you're gonna see that I cut this pretty good size head, and it's gonna fill up this bowl that I've got really well, but it's really gonna cook down. So stay with me here and watch and see how this cabbage cooks down. Also, you don't have to cut by hand. If you have a chopper or you have a food processor, you can totally use that. I just prefer to cut my cabbage by hand. For me, tonight, it's just easier to chop it up and go with it because I can do it and be done. So use what you have, make your life easier, and do it that way. So now what I'm gonna do is go ahead and add the beef or the pork, whatever you've got, add your ground meat. So I'm adding my ground pork that I've already heated up and put into a separate bowl. Now remember, this has already been seasoned with minced garlic. We've added some garlic in there. And remember, you do not have to just be using fresh from your garden vegetables. Maybe you're going to the grocery store and you have a bag of coleslaw mix that you can grab. Grab a bag of coleslaw mix. Go ahead and throw it in the skillet and use that. Whatever you've got on hand to make it easy and quick for you and your family. I'm gonna go ahead and add my liquid aminos. This is basically just a soy sauce alternative. I like to use this for my family. We use soy sauce sometimes, but for the most part, we use the liquid aminos. And so we're gonna add some of this. I don't really know how much you would wanna put in. It's really about taste. And so I'm gonna go ahead and add some of this just to taste. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix that up. And then as we start to dish it out, if I need to add more, I'll go ahead and add more to the recipe. There will be a recipe in the description below. So that way you can have at least a link to, either a link or the actual recipe will be written out. Something will be there so that you can go and follow something a little more solid. And I'm gonna add one more thing. It's gonna be my sesame seed oil. I'm just gonna add a little bit of this. And again, kind of just to flavor. It's really very potent. So I'm only gonna add a little bit of that. And just gonna mix that in. And then we are getting ready to eat. So we have the cabbage and pork all ready, AKA crack slaw. Deconstructed egg rolls, basically everything that's inside of an egg roll, but it's here in our skillet and we don't have to worry about the extra stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and dish this out to both Eric and myself. I know Eric likes to eat his a little bit differently than I do. Eric, how do you like to fix yours? Here's yours.
So once I have mine, I like to take some of our dried peppers that we've worked hard on throughout the year, and I'll sprinkle that on top. But other people also use some other condiments.
So my brother-in-law likes to put sriracha on his, and I like to put spicy brown mustard on mine. So I'm gonna add my spicy brown mustard. Eric's gonna go ahead and doctor his up with some hot peppers. You can always add other things to this as well. If you wanted to add some green peppers or other things maybe from your garden, you can add other vegetables to this. It really can be whatever you would want in this big dish, if you will. It has a great flavor to it once you add that sesame oil. If you don't like sesame oil or maybe you're allergic, don't add it. But overall, the liquid aminos or soy sauce and the sesame oil give it a great flavor. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you try this recipe, and if you do, make sure you leave a comment and let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all those things. Hit the notification bell so you're alerted anytime we put up a new video. And more than anything, I want to know, who likes quick and easy dinners, especially with homegrown vegetables?
Farmers do.
See ya.
Peace.
Woo! Spider. So as a mom that likes, okay, ready?
Oh, that's
Let me fix my hair. So as a mom of a lot of kids, thanks for watching us. Thanks. There's a fly. There's literally a fly. Eric.
Why, yes.
Oh my. This is not set up at all. Anyway, there's a fly literally flying around.